The reason America's gone down the tubes in the past couple decades is because every single product we make, every single service we offer has nothing more in mind except the goal of maximizing profit.
They're just rubbing salt in the wound at this point. The founder of DeepSeek AI was just asked in an interview why he decided to make it open source, which means everyone can use it, which totally undermines everything that the United States was trying to create. But his answer is even better. He said because the secret was not in the actual model, but instead was in the company culture that they had built and their people. Imagine that. Imagine how that works. It's almost as if, hoarding all of the money and not investing it into the people that directly work for you. It's almost as if, just piling up your gold while paying your workers as little as possible just might not work out in the long run when you're competing with people that actually do that. I really hope that this becomes a lesson learned. I hope that these investors and these companies that are trying to compete maybe start to finally understand that actually investing some of that money that you're sitting on, that giant pile of money the size of the Empire State Building, maybe if you take some of that and just invest a little bit into the people that work for you, maybe you'll be able to compete. I'm hoping.
Now, I have never personally used ChatGPT because I have trust issues. But whether or not you've used it, you're aware it's changed technology forever. It can write emails, it can do coding, it's even comfortable talking to Elon Musk.
The reason America's gone down the tubes in the past couple decades is because every single product we make, every single service we offer has nothing more in mind except the goal of maximizing profit. When your goal has nothing to do with helping people, pursuing your passion, making the best possible product for the world, you're not going to get the best results. America just learned that lesson in the most expensive possible way after viewing my investment portfolio yesterday, learning that I lost thousands of dollars. And America lost $1 trillion because of the invention of DeepSeek, the AI technology out of China that was built on $5 million hopes, dreams, bubblegum, and a shoestring budget, built with old materials that Americans thought we can't even use that. We need to pump billions and billions and billions of dollars into brand new hyperpower supercharged microchips from NVIDIA. When China realized, no, we just want to do it the best possible way. We want to do it the best possible way for our people, the cheapest way. We don't need all of these bells and whistles. We'll just be efficient. So yeah, their $5 million DeepSeek AI technology just tanked the American stock market to the tune of over $1 trillion in ways that I lost money on my General Electric stocks in a big way. America needs to get their shit together, and what I mean by that is we need to get back to a point where we're doing things for the right reasons, not just to maximize profit. Capitalism doesn't work. It gets to a point and it can't keep going up. We're at that point.
Is DeepSeek safe to use? This is a loaded question, but important, and there are two different answers depending whether you're talking about individual consumer use or you're in a company and enterprise. According to DeepSeek's own privacy policy, they collect data that is stored in servers in China, like your email address, phone, date of birth, anything that you type in, including text, audio, and chat histories, and technical information such as your IP address. It will then share this information with other groups such as service providers, advertising partners, etc., and will keep the data for as long as they want. That might sound scary, but it's pretty similar to the privacy policy in terms of use of other providers, such as ChatGPT and Gemini. So for individual use, it's just as safe for you to use as using ChatGPT or Gemini, as long as you don't care that your data is sent to China, which we don't because we're using TikTok and also downloaded Red Note a few weeks ago. However, if you run a company or you work at a company or enterprise, your IT and security policies most likely don't allow you to send information to be stored in Chinese servers, especially intellectual property of your company, personally identifiable information, etc. If you're in a highly regulated industry, you're probably not going to be able to use this unless it's through another US company hosting the open source model. That way, none of your data will be sent to China and then it can be stored in a compliant cloud environment. Or as a company, you can host the DeepSeek model yourself. So that's another option.
If you want to use DeepSeek, but you're worried about your data being sent over to China, there is a very simple two-step method where you can run it locally on your computer. Let me show you. Just go to lmstudio.ai, download, follow the prompts, and you'll get this chat page. Just head over to search, and you can run any of these models, including Llama and DeepSeek and Mistral, or you can search for DeepSeek, and these are the available models. Now, R1 is the latest model. This still just means that it's condensed down to make it more efficient while retaining its capabilities. This one is better for maths, and this one is better for coding. The 7 and 8 refer to 7 billion parameters, and all you got to do is just download it. Go back to the chat and select the model that you want to use. Now, there are much bigger versions of this. This goes all the way up to 7 billion parameters, which means better performance, but it also means higher storage and compute power needed, because that 70 billion is like 43 gigs. So I would go with the smallest one or whatever your computer can handle. If you want my notes on it, go to my picture app and comment DeepSeek on this video and I'll send it to you.
What I want to focus on is who they hire and what they're collecting. So it's a little bit different. Who they hire are typically young individuals who have just graduated from university in China, and they are really prioritizing tech capabilities rather than real world experience. And the other thing that they're doing, which actually is very unusual for China, they typically silo who they hire into what their educational background is they are hiring experts outside of the computer science field. And I do think that's a way to be more original in the technology that they are producing and to sort of widen the capabilities of what it is. So that's a little bit different from them, for them. Another thing is the national security concerns. Look, I think that any app like this in China, the intent may not be to gather intelligence for nefarious purposes, but in 2017, China, the PRC, basically passed a law stating that they can demand, without warrants, without anything like that, data from tech companies to cooperate with national intelligence efforts. So the reality is the government can come into any tech company and say, give me all of this. Data is not protected because we want to gain information. And so I do think that's what they will use this for. There's no question. And part of their privacy statements that has been translated from Chinese does state that they store user info, the info that they collect on secure servers located within the PRC. So all of that information would be subject to anything that the government demands. So I know a lot of you are like, well, we collect information here. We do. But the reality is China is collecting it to use it against the United States in a multitude of different ways. I don't know if this will get banned or not. So I don't know that, you should get too attached to it. They were a victim of a malicious cyber attack, and they have limited registrants today or Monday, I believe. So that will be interesting to see. We did ban Huawei successfully in the United States, and it was the second largest smartphone provider, second to Apple, in 2018. So there is precedent, obviously, for banning this. Obviously, TikTok is still in the balance. So I'll be interested to see how this goes. It's not an app that I will be using or an app that I would trust.
We all knew that this was coming. It was only a matter of time. US officials are now looking into whether there are national security implications for the Chinese AI app, you guessed it, DeepSeek. I mean, I'm just gonna have a wild stab in the dark here and say, there probably is. And maybe a way to fix that would be to sell it to an American company. Speaking of which, actually, OpenAI has now also claimed that it has evidence that DeepSeek used its own company's model to train its chatbot, hinting that there could be a potential case for intellectual property theft. Oh, and DeepSeek should not be expecting a smooth 2025 after the disruption that they caused. Because after they shot to #1 in the App Store, they were forced to temporarily limit user registrations due to malicious attacks on their servers. Here we go.
Socialism has already won, in my opinion. Like, I fully believe in my heart that socialism will prevail and capitalism will die off like it should have decades ago. But there's a particular news story that has happened this week that I'd like to share that's helping me feel even more positive about this, okay? And hopefully it helps you, make you feel a little bit more positive and give you some hope in a sea of negativity. So if you aren't aware, there is a 21st century space race happening, but it's not about space, it's about AI, right? It's an AI war, and it's between the United States and China of who can develop the most sophisticated AI first, okay? And this week, if you aren't aware, China's DeepSeek AI they just released it, and this version is better than the American AI. But not only that, they were able to create this AI at a fraction of the cost. Okay. And you get headlines like this: Meta is reportedly scrambling war rooms of engineers to figure out how DeepSeek's AI is beating everybody else at a fraction of the price. And this is great news, in my opinion. Now, why is this good news? You have to understand the United States is a capitalist country and China is a socialist country. Okay. And a key difference between those two systems is what is the ultimate goal? Like, why do you produce things? Why do you make things? Under capitalism, production is geared towards profit, making as much money as possible, the for-profit motive. That takes precedent over anything else, even the needs of people. And we will consistently see capitalism not meet the needs of people, put the needs of people under that for-profit motive, and people will suffer as a result. Versus under socialism, the for-profit motive, that's not why you produce things. You create things to meet the needs of the people above all else, right? To raise the standard of living for all, to make humanity overall better. And that is the ultimate goal of a socialist society, okay? And so while I don't think China is perfect, between those two, United States versus China, I absolutely trust China's motives over the United States' motives. Because I can tell you what companies like Meta want AI for, so that the owners can be even more rich and more powerful and have more control over the masses, so they can live like gods on the planet even further. That is their goal. Like that's all they want is more money. It's about money. That is the ultimate goal of capitalism. Versus China, I trust that their goal is not that. It's not about making money. It's about using the AI in a way that will benefit all people on planet Earth. Okay, all people. And some evidence I have for this is that their AI model is open source. Okay, so ultimately, to end this video, I fully believe that socialism has already won, and we're going to see it. It's going to become more and more obvious as China just absolutely takes off and shows the world how much more efficient socialism is and how much it meets the needs of its average citizens than capitalism does. And the capitalist propaganda will eventually, people will see through the cracks and see through it and see the system of capitalism for what it is, how it is a system of exploitation and oppression, and how it should have died off decades ago. And so hopefully that's some good news for you.
So let me get this straight. I don't know if I'm well articulated to explain this so well. So I know these creators have done a great job explaining. So these are two countries operating under two systems. We have socialist China, that does things for the common good. And also we have capitalist America, US, we have to keep saying US, that does things to benefit those who are on power, because power equals money. So now, this means DeepSeek being open, it means it was created under a socialist country. That is, nothing is done in the secret. Everything has to be open to common use, to the society, and for exploration, And that explains and informs what is happening right here. So the comment that I put here, humanity over profit, is a comment that I came across, and I was like, let me just put it out there so that you can think critically about that. So this channel is about comfort for life. It's about having a world where equity is provided. We are embracing culture, diversity, innovation, everything that has to do with development for the sake of making a world a better place to live in. So I just want you to reflect on these two words: community and humanity. Over profit. So which one is the best? Which one is a good system? It's left for you to decide. This channel is not about propaganda. It's about you thinking critically and see what is happening and see how you can bring a positive change in the place where you are influencing. So this is comfort for life. And I am happy to be here. I'm happy for the impact that this channel is making. And if you want to be part of this journey, it's simple. Subscribe to the channel, like, share the video, and also you can as well support the channel. And if you're new here, kindly, and you love it here, subscribe.